Welcome to the 2025 market forecast. I'm excited to share with you guys 3 of the things everyone's been asking me about this coming year. What's going to happen to interest rates? Are we finally going to see them drop? What about home prices? Are they going to continue to go sky high? And will there be a market crash? I'm going to cover all 3 of those topics in this month's video. Well, let's talk first about interest rates. You know, the last few years, so many people have forecasted that this is the year that rates are coming down. Finally, we're going to see lower rates, and it's probably going to happen by summer. In the beginning of the last 2 years, almost everyone has said, by summertime, that's when we're going to see lower rates. And guess what? 0 for 2 has not happened in the last 2 years, and they're saying it again. So can I tell you it's going to be 0 for 3? My prediction is interest rates are going to stay about the same through 2025. I know that's not very exciting news, but between 6% and 7% is where I think will fluctuate for most of the year in 2025. Now, again, I would love to be wrong about that, but every year in the last 2 years, people are saying it's going to change and it just hasn't. And so call me a little bit cynical from maybe getting my hopes up the last 2 years and believing this is going to change. I just don't think that it will. And there's not enough evidence to show reasons why that it will come down. Inflation still is not at a great rate. That's a big indicator of where we can get to lower rates. We need to see, isn't it sad how the job report has to be that there's more unemployment to see a lower interest rate? Man, doesn't that need to change? But that's the way the government is built right now, that thing has to happen to see us a change in rates. But here's what I believe. Between 6% and 7% is where we're going to be for this year. So if you're waiting for those rates to come down, don't hold your breath because I don't see it happening in 2025. I do think at some point we are going to level out. I think we're going to get to 5%, between 4.5% and 5% is where we'll probably fluctuate for a longer holding pattern. I just don't see it happening this year, and that's what I believe is happening in 2025 for interest rates. Let's get into home prices. So many people are wondering what's going to happen this year with home prices, and here's the deal. Year over year, between 4% and 5% is about the appreciation or increase that you can expect to see in home values. And I think it's going to hold true for 2025. I don't see big changes coming. So on a $300,000 house, for those people who are waiting to buy a home or who currently own a home, your home value next year about this time should be about $315,000. So if you're owning your home, great, you've got more equity to pull from and do things with if you're interested in doing that. If you're buying a home and waiting, it's now costing you $15,000 more about this time next year for the same amount of house. So for many people who have been waiting for interest rates to come down, they're losing the war on home prices. And so here's my encouragement to you. Right now, I believe home prices are going to go up about 4 to 5% in 2025. But the great thing about the market at this point, because so many people are waiting, houses have been sitting longer. And I work with a lot of sellers, and so many of them are a bit distraught when their home doesn't sell in the first 5 days. So what happens? You'll see it in the market. If you look at the statistics, many homes are selling for less than what they listed for. And what does that mean for buyers? That means that you're going to get oftentimes a credit at closing or a lower purchase price and concessions on the offer that you make and the ability to have an offer made with a contingency to sell your home. When rates eventually do come down, you're not going to be able to make contingencies because there's going to be so many buyers. You're just not going to be able to do that with the contingency to sell your home. You're not going to get the concessions on price or credits at closing. Here's what people should be doing. When you're buying now, you can get $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 sometimes off of that price. But instead of getting a discount on the price, you should take that money as a credit and buy down your interest rate. People are waiting for rates to drop when they could be using money from sellers now to buy that rate down and getting the rate that they want anyways. A lender that I work with just helped somebody buy down that rate from what would have been about 7% to 5%. with the credit they got from the sellers. It didn't cost the buyer any money. They used the seller's money as a credit on the offer that they made. This is what people should be doing right now. In any market, in any investment strategy, you should always be trying to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. And so while many people are waiting, there are so many advantages of taking action now. They're just a little bit different because people aren't seeing some of the things, because it makes sense to wait for lower rates, but people are really missing out. Well, let's talk about that third point. Will there be a housing crash this year? Again, another spoiler. Sorry, I don't see that coming in 2025. I'm going to debunk a fact for you. Many people think that the housing market has a cyclical crash, but it just doesn't. The last kind of crash that we had was in 2008, and that was a result of bad lending practices. So those got shored up. Now people have to verify their income. There's a lot more red tape to move through before you can get approved for a loan. And so there's not a bubble waiting to burst. In people's minds, they think it's cyclical, it's going to crash, but look back before 2008 and you won't see for a long time where there was any kind of crash to the housing market. And so if you're waiting for that as well, I'm sorry to burst that bubble. I'm not giving you really exciting, wait for this thing kind of news, but I am telling you what I believe is the truth. If you're waiting for a housing crash to happen in 2025, I just don't see the things in the economy or things looming on the horizon that would cause for that to happen. Now, I can't predict a worldwide crisis, can't predict another pandemic, or those kind of things that are outside of our control or things that we can't see on the radar. But I don't believe a housing crash is coming in 2025, and so if you're waiting for that, don't hold your breath. I don't believe it's coming. I hope this video has equipped you to know more of what's coming in 2025. I'm going to put out monthly videos with market updates that help you to see what's coming, the changes that I've made, so that you can be a savvy home seller and home buyer. I'll let you know how the changes will affect your strategies in buying or selling a home, and if you're investing in property or building a home. We're going to make sure you're well equipped so that if your family needs to make a change, you're able to do that with the most information possible so that you can make the best decision for your family. My name is Jim Hare. I'm the owner of Hare Homes Realty Group. I would love to serve your family, or if you know someone who's thinking about making a move, I would love for you to introduce me to them and allow me the opportunity to serve them and put them in the best situation possible. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you and have an amazing day.